Folklore has it that a 1960s US Surgeon General proclaimed that it is time to close the book on infectious diseases and declare the war against pestilence won. All evidence indicates that this is a medical urban legend, since there is no written or first-hand testimony to this statement. The urban legend does, however, reflect the overall optimism in the public health community at the time. For example, Sir Frank Macfarlane Burnet, the 1916 Nobel laureate in medicine, declared, "One can think of the middle of the 20th century as the end of one of the most important social revolutions in history, the virtual elimination of the infectious diseases as a significant factor in social life." Today, 50 years later, infectious diseases are still the second leading cause of mortality in the world, accounting for more than 15% of all deaths worldwide. At the continental scale, almost 2/3 of all deaths in Africa are still caused by infectious disease. Our battle against lethal bugs is very much still raging. The virtual elimination still stifles us. To understand the current state of world health, it is instructional to understand the wild optimism from half a century ago. It stemmed from the tremendous improvements made in the decades following World War II, with respect to nearly all aspects of infectious diseases. First, the discovery and mass production of antibiotics such as penicillin allowed treatment of many nasty bacterial infections, for which there had previously been no cures. Second, mass vaccination campaigns were repeatedly rolled out to greatly reduce many of the most lethal and debilitating viral diseases. Indeed, smallpox was at the time already on the brink of being stamped out by the global smallpox eradication program. Third, widespread application of the insecticide DDT, a practice abolished since in the 1970s because of its environmental and human toxicity, had led to the first ever global decrease in many vector-borne infections, ranging from malaria to typhus and dengue. In rich countries, this had also all taken place against a backdrop of decreasing incidence of waterborne infections due to continually improving urban sanitation. There were generally great causes for optimism. Today's somewhat more somber outlook comes from two reasons. First, we have come to realize that the human host is continually being challenged by not only established but also new pathogens. One of the world's worst current killers, the HIV/AIDS virus, for example, only emerged out of the jungles of Central Africa sometimes in the middle of the 20th century. Emergence of new diseases is thus a continuous process. Second, several diseases against which serious inroads were being made have for various reasons started to re-emerge. Antibiotic resistance, insecticide resistance, vaccine-driven evolution, and vaccine refusal. First, bacterial evolution and antibiotic resistance. Tuberculosis, the great killer of the 16th through 19th century, could easily be cured by the antibiotic streptomycin discovered in the mid-1940s. However, by 1980, resistance had appeared. Since the appearance of the subsequent multi-drug resistant TB strain, the worldwide incidence of tuberculosis has been steadily increasing. In 1970, the hope of the public health community was to completely eradicate the disease. In 1993, TB was declared a global health emergency by the World Health Organization. Second, vector evolution of insecticide resistance. Insecticidal control of vectors can be a very powerful weapon against vector-borne infections. Unfortunately, insects like bacteria can evolve resistance. Sri Lanka virtually eliminated malaria from the entire country during the 1960s using DDT to kill mosquitoes. By 1970, the mosquitoes had developed DDT resistance. Third, vaccines, like drugs, can drive evolution, and there is evidence that both viral pathogens like hepatitis B and bacterial pathogens like Streptococcus pneumonia have changed over time to get around vaccine-induced immunity. A perhaps more surprising cause of re-emergence of vaccine-preventable infections is vaccine refusal. Both the measles, mumps, rubella and the diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis vaccines have been the subject of recent vaccine scares, alleged severe side effects of vaccines. The allegations have been unfounded. However, the subsequent large number of parents who have decided against vaccinating their children have led to outbreaks of both measles and pertussis in populations that otherwise had robust herd immunity.